Okay, folks, we're back at her. This is a really interesting project for us. We're actually on a Canadian Forces base here today. And this customer is such a big fan of Highland Outbuildings that even though she knows she's not going to be here forever, because she'll probably get posted to another base somewhere, she's still going to put a building in here. And she built a frame. So this is on helical piles. This is the first one of these that we've done. We're just going to shore up these cross braces a little bit, but she's built some framing. It's nice and flat and level. It's going to be a bit of a trick to get this on here and get it perfect, but we got a bit of a mission here today, so watch us while we try to figure this out. So while Greg gets the mule going, we're going to drop this thing off the trailer. I just want to show you, like all of our buildings, we do custom work here. And in this case, you've seen a Bancroft before, but you've never seen a Bancroft with 4x4 windows on the front with the transom windows above it. How good does that look? This building just got finished this morning, just in time for our delivery. We're getting really good at meeting our timelines, which by the way, tend to be in advance of when we tell you. So this structure is designed with the door offset, of course, a smaller 3x4 window, and then the big 4x4 windows. We want to get as much light in this building as possible. We'll give you a tour once we get in there. Greg's got the mule off of there and we're going to bring her on over. We're going to get it into this side yard. We're at what's called a PMQ on the base here, which is permanent residency for our military personnel. And we're going to get her on in there and get her up on that frame, which is over yonder. Follow along. Do not be alarmed, folks. This is completely normal. Greg sometimes makes a joke, which one of you guys is going to come over here and catch this thing once we've tilted up on the trailer? And again, this is a specifically built trailer for moving these sheds. And when it gets coming up off of there, it can be sometimes a bit of a surprise to you guys when we bring the building over, but it does its job exactly as we intended. Up she goes. Sliding pretty good today. So we put this part down on the blocks because when we get around here to put the dollies under, we need enough space to get the mule underneath it. So there's a bit of physics and a couple of tricks that Greg uses to get these in there. Now he comes around here with the mule. Of course, all of the neighborhood's showing up to see what's going on, which is fun. So now he's gonna pick this up. We'll get the dollies under there and then take the shed mule around to the other side to get her up on the deck. So now that she's back on the dollies, Greg swings around to the other side of the building. And because the building is angled down this way, if we didn't have it up on the blocks, there wouldn't be enough room for the forks to get under there. So that's why we put those down there. We're almost ready to get her on over into her place. The joke is that those are always too tall for me. I have to jump to put them up. Now he'll pick that back up and we'll get those blocks out of the way. Here we go, bringing her on into the side yard here. The reason for this frame is there's actually a big old stump there, and you can see one here as well. They never brought in a stump grinder to get that out of the way, so this frame is going to allow us to get the building level and get it on up there. So we got to do some problem solving. We got to get one of the skids up on this deck and slide it using the pipe and the mule and the mechanical advantage, and somehow get it on here and then spin it around so that it's facing the house. I'm not even sure what we're going to do, but we'll figure it out. folks, we got her in here. This was a tricky one, hence the no footage while we were delivering and getting it into its spot. But what our customer wanted was her door here as close as possible to the door of the house, and we accomplished that goal. They're still gonna put in some steps, and this framing needs to be shored up a little bit because there's those helical posts are a little small, so it does have a bit of a wiggle to it. But now this thing, because we're on the base, they insist that whatever they do has to be able to be undone. So whenever there's a transfer, or maybe that doesn't happen for some time, they'll be able to take this building out of here. But look at that beauty little Bancroft with the transom windows above the 4x4s. We'll give you a little look inside here. There's our happy customer right there. So this space is designed as a getaway room. Look at those windows, that looks awesome. And this is for crafting and hanging out. And here we have Bailey. What do you think?
I'm so excited. This is going to be the perfect space for me. We're calling it the crafting condo. So a place for me to take all my yarn and crochet and knitting and away from the kids. So
amazing.
Perfect.
Yeah, so now Bailey's got her own space. And this is a building that she's added because she needed some extra space here on the base. And she's also got great taste in buildings because the windows on this are situated, you know, we got our sun's gonna set by the big windows over there, and the transom windows up there were a little treat that we added to this building, and now it's looking really good. So thank you for your business.
Thank you. This is beautiful.
And let me ask you, how come you chose to buy a Highland Outbuilding?
It was the best available that was perfect, suited all my needs, built and available, so I could pick it up and move it somewhere else in the future. So.
Exactly. So in this case, Bailey's sort of a unique customer because she's going to take this with her when she buys another piece of land someday, right? So good for you. And if you want a Bancroft with a couple of big 4x4 windows and some transom windows above it, look at that. That thing's awesome. And that's a 10x6, or sorry, this is actually a 9x14. Bailey specified a little bit of a different size because that's what would fit. But we can build one of these for you too. And you can check us out at highlandoutbuildings.com. And you can call me anytime at 705-309-9088. Thanks, Bailey.